So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined once again by promoter Dennis Hobson. Dennis, how you doing?
Good, thanks, Danny. Always a pleasure to talk to you, pal.
I wish more people would say that and mean it.
Well, we'll see after the interview, eh?
Yeah, give it 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You've never been busier, it seems, than you are now. Certainly not for a long time. You've done this deal with Fightzone TV. It seems like every couple of days a new show gets announced as part of that deal. I think you've got 2 this month, 2 next month that I know of. Just tell us, first of all, how the agreement with Fightzone came about.
Well, what happened was, Danny, obviously I've been in the game a long time, and I've been fortunate to be involved with some big nights with Ricky and Clinton and David A and Carl Thompson, Jim McDonald, all the fighters that I've been involved with. Now, when you're doing deals, and Robert Waterman will tell you this, when you sit in front of these TV execs, they're not out and out boxing people, the majority of them. And sometimes you talk to them and you think, well, logic suggests that they'll go for this, and they don't. So I've had that for 20 or 30 years, Danny. And so the opportunity arose when we were nice and quietly, we thought, under the radar, we were going to buy Box Nation. Okay, and for reasons that I know about, which I won't probably disclose, is that we ended up not getting it because we were told we were the highest bid. So anyway, so we decided at that stage, we've got all as people together, as partners together in fight, and we born Fightzone from, it's a fledgling company, fledgling channel, and on the same principle, but we're saying we are a Box Nation, how it should have been run, we believe, giving other opportunities to they say small or promoters, but people like Steve Woods, you've got Kev Marie, you've got go on, in London, you've got Mark Pryor and people like that, and then Sam Kinnon. So I don't call them small old promoters. I mean, I know you've got to call them something, but they are potentially bigger promoters, but not at the platform, Danny. So and it's, you could say I'm a small old promoter who's done some big stuff. Well, I don't count myself as a small old promoter. I do some small old shows, but we're always capable of pulling the big one off. And you've got Frank and you've got Eddie, but it's always the Freddie and Frank show. Now on the Fightzone, it's not just about Dennis Hobson and Fight Academy, me and Steve. It's about having a pool of promoters and fighters who you can work with, who you're giving a platform to, and that's what Fightzone is a complete separate entity to what Fight Academy is. So we're giving so many dates from Fightzone, as will Steve Woods, whether Kevin Marie wants to promote, Mo Pryor, Alfie Warren, Carl Greaves, Errol Johnson, Sam Kinnock. So these are all people who'll be doing their own shows, on our platform. Now, what a great thing this is that while all the turmoil's going off at Sky and Channel 5 and you've got BT, we're going to put regular shows on, Danny. And it's like, for me, in my lifetime, it's never been seen where you get a fixture list almost. And that's what we've done. Jason McClory, our head of boxing, I think he's matched up 14 events almost on the spin now already. So we've got a fixture list. We're doing 7 shows in 6 weeks from a car park in Sheffield, starting as of a week tomorrow on the 21st of May. And we wanted to come out with a bit of a bang. And that's what we're doing. We've got a pool of 300 to 400 fighters amongst these promoters. And it should have happened a long time ago, this, I think, Danny, where everybody gets a shout. And whether you're a fighter yourself and this is your pro debut, you're going to get a TV platform. where it helps you with his sponsorship and getting subsidies for your career, because unless you're a GB squad or Olympian or whatever, you're going to struggle to get somebody to sponsor you or get subsidized. So a lot of these kids who might be a better pro than an amateur, which I found in my promotional career, that I've managed to do things where kids have been decent amateurs, but they've gone on, I've maneuvered them and been able to win world titles with them. So without this platform, some kids will fall through the net because they can't afford to turn professional. So I believe what we're doing is a service to the industry, and it should build a profile of boxing again. You know, it's all about football on the back pages, but boxing, I've said this numerous times, is the only sport in our country what we're the best at in the world. And you know, I'm a big football fan, Danny. I won't tell you who I support because we just got relegated. But anyway, but the England team, we don't win anything on the world scene. Now, I do think we've got a chance these days. But at boxing, we're the best in the world. We're the best in the world. And we're not as big as we should be. The kids coming through, they should have a platform. And that's what we think we're providing. We think there's a hole in the market and we're going to fill it.
Now, while you can't tell me the details of the Box Nation thing, was it during the time just before they were acquired by Premier Sports? Was that when you were bidding for them?
Yes, we believe we got told we were the highest bid.
Now, you said earlier you feel that you're going to do Box Nation the way it should have been done. What do you see as the missed opportunities from Box Nation that you guys will look to exploit on Fightzone?
I think more or less saying, without having a dig at anybody, it's not, like I said, it's not about me. Just because I've invested in Fightzone with some partners. This is about working together. And if one of my fighters or our fighters fights one of Steve Wood's, it's may the best man win, and whoever loses, we'll push him along, and he'll just hold the career up, but he'll come back on our channel. Whereas Steve Wood's kid, if his kid wins, we'll help him if he needs help from us at Fightzone. But Steve will, you know, plot his own path, and if he wants us involved, but he's got Fightzone to push his fighters. And I'm using Steve a lot because obviously he's got a pool of fighters and he always cops for one or two quality fighters, as does Kev Marie. And I'm so pleased that we've sat down and done an arrangement with these kind of people. And that's how I believe Box Nation should have been. It should have been given a bit of the pie, even if you don't get the bigger slice of the pie, giving a bit of the pie to some of the other promoters. And if a kid gets to a level, instead of him having to go on another channel, maybe we can sit down around the table and how we can get them towards not just British level, up to European and on the world scene on this channel. And that's what our aim is, Danny. That's where we want to be. It's like anything in business. It's a punt, but we believe that the feedback that we've got is so positive that people will buy into what we're doing. We're not charging a fortune. It's $4.99 a month. But for a live event every week, it's £1.25. Say so, it's cheap. And there's a boxing fraternity in our country. I think of boxing purists of about 150,000. So if we get plenty of them tuning into us, which I believe we will, ours will be the place to go to from the debut, hopefully all the way up to world level.
And the crucial details, how can people watch it? What are the different devices it's available on? How do they sign up?
Well, they can watch it on the telephone, the mobile phone. They can watch it, you know, on the net, like we're talking to each other, or they can watch it on the smart TVs. It's a DAZN. It's a UK version of a DAZN, Danny, if you want me to put it that way. But if you look at the quality, it's a TV quality on the internet, a TV channel on the internet. The production that we use is what Channel 5 uses, and Sky or BT. That's the quality of production that we're throwing at this. So it's not just a tin pot production. We really do believe in this, and we're giving it the best chance to flow by putting quality production and quality talent, you know, the commentators and presenters and everything like that. So as you will see, it will be a quality show, and I hope to see you up there, Danny.
I'm sure you will. So can people, in the same way as Box Nation, can people dip in and dip out so they don't have to sign a long-term agreement?
Yeah, if you wanted to sign for a month and then dip out, like you say, but you know what we're doing deals with fighters is if they want to come on board with us, we've just signed I think 35 fighters at Fight Academy, wow. And we've signed deals with some of the promoters and managers who I've just mentioned. So we are doing some joint deals, but we'll guarantee them 4 or 5 fights throughout the year. That's a minimum. So any of their supporters or family won't just be able to just come and watch them live. They'll be able to see them live on TV if they can't get there, or they want to, you know, playbacks. And one of the things I thought about, Danny, as well, everybody logs into BoxRec, and we have an arrangement with BoxRec. We're doing some advertising with them. We get on very well with them. But you know, it's the go-to site for looking up kids and matches. Now, as we develop some of the kids who we might be bringing through, and you might want to match some of these kids up and they've got losing records, that doesn't always say that they're a bad fighter. And on our channel, we'll have a library where it should be a go-to library where you can say, well, that kid, yeah, he's got a losing record, but hold on a minute, it's too dangerous for my kid at this stage. So even though he's got a losing record, he might still be a bit too experienced for a kid who's undefeated in 2 or 3, but it might not quite be the right time. So there's more chance of you not getting caught out.
I've been saying for years a video box rec would be amazing. You know, a catalogue of every fighter's fights, or as many as are available. That's an incredible service.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously it's going to take a bit of time, but that's what we're going to create. So you're a boxing man, and you get it. So there's like I said, there's about 150,000 in this country who are like me and you, who I think get it. So I think we'll attract a lot of them. And as the women boxing grows, which I'm a fan of, by the way, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't at first. I couldn't get my head around it because obviously I'm a little bit older than you and I'm a bit of a traditionalist, but I am absolutely going to full turn. I love it. I love women's boxing. So we've got another audience there, Danny. All of a sudden it's fashionable, and some of these lady boxers, they're just getting better and better. The quality, the standards getting better and better. So I could give me some of the women's fights. I'd rather watch some of them now. And on the last fight, the Parker Chisora, I know it was a smashing fight, but the woman fight for me, was stand out.
Yeah. Now, how do people sign up? Is it just going onto the website to sign up?
Fightzone. Just log on Fightzone, whether it's on your device, on your internet, on your smart TV, and away we go. And it's like same as DAZN, Danny. It should be exactly the same as DAZN. So if DAZN can fly, why can't we? But you know, our main audience is going to be in the UK, but we will be doing some international fights. We've got Dave Allen, I believe he should be secured. So I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. But he's going to be fighting in Malta on July the 30th, and I think Katie Healy is as well. And there's some international fights on that. On that bill. I'm doing that with Stephen Vaughan. And we're doing a show where we've got John Fuchs making his comeback in Las Palmas on, I believe, June the 12th. So we've got 1 or 2 excursions, Jimmy. So as of next year, hopefully we've got over this horrible hurdle that we've all been through of the COVID, that we'll get some sort of normality, and then we'll be able to put kids on all over the world. And we're just coming to an arrangement with maybe Telemundo and maybe take some of Mexican fights. So we're not just standing still and doing your local fights. And I think already, and there's nothing to watch yet, Danny, until we put his first fight on. We've got people joining from Africa and somebody, 1 or 2 from Indonesia, I believe. So we're getting people joining already who aren't even from this country, who want to see a bit of live boxing. So that's very, very encouraging for us.
And you've mentioned that 150,000 viewers figure a couple of times as kind of the boxing hardcore fraternity. Is that what you're forecasting roughly you'll need to achieve in the next however many years to get to where you want to be?
No, I want to go bigger. I want to do $500,000, Danny.
All right.
I want to rule the world like Eddie. I want to be Eddie when I grow up. No, I mean, listen, the great thing about us, Danny, is we don't have to have chauffeur-driven cars. There's nobody on fancy salaries. The people who are on our team have bought into this concept, and the partners we've got, we don't need to be taking a wage out of it. We're going to build a company up that hopefully is going to be worth probably a lot of money someday. But you know, I earn money outside of boxing, and boxing is not a hobby, what you might think. It's a business, but it's a passion for me. So I don't need to be taking, you know, like I say, having chauffeur-driven cars and things like that. I'm okay. We're going to keep reinvesting in this company, in Fightzone. So at some stage, and well, we can now because we are funded. If we want to bid for the odd pay-per-view, we can do that. We can bid for some smashing world title fights, which I'm sure will be revealed in the forthcoming months. So there's nothing that we can't achieve, Danny. And I think worldwide, I think we're hoping to get hundreds of thousands. But let's walk before we run. Let's get the UK audience going, and people like yourselves at SecondsOut, who I know are supporting us and push. And if I'm trying to sell you a dead donkey, you're going to go, yeah, thanks, Dennis, but yeah, good luck with it. I think in listening to you, Danny, you know it's a good concept. Everybody does. So people like you, it's just saying, get the word out there. We're not asking for something for nothing. It's proper what we're doing. And the more people who tune in and buy into us, the stronger we'll be, and we will be the home of boxing from the grassroots, and hopefully right all the way to the top. So we're an option. We're an option. We're not going after Tyson Fury and Joshua or anything like that. We're not trying to be a DAZN.
Well, that would have been a headline.
That would have been an headline. But, you know, who knows what we can achieve? You know, you've got big names like Ricky endorsing what we're doing. Betfred have just come on board. They love what we're doing. And so I'm really chuffed on the people that have endorsed the brand and the concept. So it's quite humbling to be fair to say it's come from just a small little idea that we had. We sat around a table and said, shall we have a pop at trying to buy Box Nation? It's still got like about, I don't know, 15 or 18,000 subscribers, but it was on the Sky platform, on a linear platform, which is not the way to go for the future of boxing, I don't believe, unless you're a Sky Television or you're BT. But BT have like, they're a bit of both, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a TV channel, but at the same time, they're on the net. So this is the way to go for boxing, Danny. But so what we're doing, like I've just said, is bringing television to the internet, television quality to the internet. And as you'll see, and you'll always be a guest at any of our shows, Danny, you'll see the quality of what we're doing. I get you interviews with all the production team, even the cameramen love what we're doing. How good is that? I've never been involved, and I've done some big fights, haven't I, Danny? You know, taking Ricky to Vegas and stuff like that, and Clinton in world titles. This is as exciting as I've been in the 30 years I've been involved with boxing.
I'm glad to hear it. It's infectious. And let me ask you before I let you go, without going through every show on the schedule, just give us an idea of some of the highlights over the next month or so. What fights can we expect?
Well, you've got Cash Ali. He's making a statement. He's a heavyweight. You know, some like him or loathe him. Some people dislike him because of what he were involved with David Price. But he has a little chuckle to this itself, because I think he did an interview the other month and he says, you know, I've still got an appetite for the game. And he had a little he says, no pun intended. But yeah, we've got Cash fighting for a European title against a kid who's got a great record, a puncher. And I think you'll see a new Cash since Richard Towers has been training him. And Richard's got him in fantastic shape, been getting some excellent sparring. He sparred with Derek for his last fight against Parker, been going around the gym. So I think you'll see a different Cash, and this is an opportunity for him to make a statement for an IBF European. You've got Mark Jeffers is going to be making his debut for us on the same bill, from Preston, who's a quality fighter. who we believe can go all the way. We've got some great Sheffield kids, you know, like Tommy Franks is, after his injury, is in for a rematch, redemption. So if he wins that, is the kid who he's fighting is rated number 8 in the IBF. So you know where that could potentially go. You know, there's a young Sonny Edwards who's sometimes not very complimentary about Tommy, but they train in the same city. So who knows where that could go in the future? But Tommy's got to do the business. So there's some smashing fights what we've got up and coming, and we'll send
you mentioned female boxing earlier and how you're a massive convert to it. Any kind of female boxing we should look out for on the shows?
Katie Hill, who's from Wolverhampton, she's a 2-time world champion kickboxer. She's making a debut with us, and you look at her, you think, well, she should be a model, but she's a 2-time kickboxer. She's got a big appetite for the game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how she develops. So she's charismatic with that little Brummie accent. She's charismatic, but you know what I mean. She's got a little wry smile about her, and I'm really looking forward to her and helping her develop a career. So I'm like I say, Danny, I'm really excited about it, and what I want to try and do, and which I think some promoters lose sight of. I don't want to just any advice of what we're involved with just be a number. I want to get to know them personally, because then when we do win something, we've got a connection, and that's why I'm in the game. And you'll see at the back of me some of the posters and stuff like that. They're the stuff where I've been involved in. I want this. I might have to have an extension and get some more wall space, but that's what I'm in the game for, Danny. The money, yeah, we all want to make a few quid. But the money comes and goes, but the memories are here forever, and that's what floats my boat.
Great stuff. Well, it's great to hear how positive you are about the new venture, and I'm sure everyone watching will want to get behind it. So
I think you can play a big part, by the way. No pressure. But I'm telling you, people like SecondsOut are a credible organisation. When you start saying out what a great concept this is, which everybody is, by the way, people will get behind us even more. You'll probably give one or two a bit of a nudge and say, well, this is what it is. This is what they say on the tin. This is a concept that's filling a hole in the market that's been there for too long. And Ricky says it in some of the statements and interviews he said. So if you get behind it, Danny, I think you'll help give us an extra boost.
I'll do it, Dennis. I'll do it for you and for a free sub, obviously.
Listen, come and sample our pie and peas, and we've got some posh fish chips and peas from the north, from Grimsby, on our first show. So if you fancy it.
Well, if I wasn't sold before, I mean, that's just pushed me over here.
Good man.
Great stuff. Cheers.